In today's video, I'm finally reviewing the Google Pixel Watch 2. Let's get right into it. Okay, I know it has been such a long time since I got the Google Pixel Watch 2. It has been exactly 6 months, but I like to do my reviews 6 months after I get the device because I'm trying to be as thorough as possible and have a really good feel on how I feel about the device. But I do know that 6 months is a really long time, so going forward, whenever I get new devices, I will probably do a 3-month review instead of 6 months. Or I'll even try to do a 1-month review because I do know that it has been quite a while and a lot of y'all have completely died off of the hype, but I do know that a lot of y'all are still very interested, so that's why I'm doing this video. But yeah, moving forward, we'll see what happens there. But with the Google Pixel Watch 2 today, I'm gonna be going through the pros, the cons, and I'm gonna end the video off by giving you my opinion on whether or not you should get this watch. So let's jump right into it. I did just want to call out the fact that I got this for free. It was a special offer when I pre-ordered the Google Pixel 8 Pro. So if I hadn't gotten that offer, I don't think I would have gotten this. But because the offer was just too good to say no to, I ended up getting it. So just wanted to throw that out there. But pros, starting with the hardware, I really love the design of this watch. I think it's super sleek, it's minimal, it's chic. I love that the face is round. I think a lot of smartwatches have different shaped faces. Some of them are square, some of them are square but rounded, some of them are rectangular. And I personally love the fact that this looks like a watch. It's round and it's just, I don't know, I really like that classic look. I have gotten a lot of compliments from people who can see that this is a smartwatch, but it looks like an actual watch. So I love it so much. And speaking of the face, I love this like raindrop effect. So essentially it looks like a raindrop kind of pooled on top here. And that's just the effect of what the watch face is, if that makes sense. It's a design choice by Google and I really like it. I just think everything about the hardware is really nice and sleek. And so I love that. I also love the band. I think the band is also really sleek, simple, easy to put on. And the whole watch is super lightweight. I swear when I put this on, and I'll show you how fast it is for me to put it on. That was super fast, but I swear when I put this on, it's snug. It does not feel like it's ever gonna fall off. And to be honest with you, sometimes I feel like I don't have it on and I will get concerned because I'll be like, oh my God, where the hell is my watch? Or I'll leave the house and completely forget to put it on because it's so lightweight, you don't even feel that it's there. That doesn't happen often, by the way, where I forget to put it on. It isn't an issue, but that has happened a couple of times because it is so lightweight. And I love that about the watch. It goes without saying that it is super comfortable. If I can't even feel it, then it's definitely comfortable. And yeah, I think the overall design is just really nice. By the way, there is an accessory on the face and I will talk about accessories as well closer to the end, so we'll get into that, but there is an accessory there. It doesn't fully look like that and I'm kind of afraid to take it off to show you, but you know what, screw it. That came off really easy. But this is what the actual face looks like. I don't know if you can see there's like a tiny scuff there. That's why I got this, but anyway, moving on to the next pros. And the next set of pros have to do with the software, which is my favorite thing about this watch. Oh, I should also say, when it comes to the hardware, putting these on and taking them off are so simple. That took me a couple of seconds to do. I took this off and I put it back on. I love that as well. I feel like in the past I've had that issue so much with other types of smartwatches, like switching out the bands and stuff like that. But this one, zero issues, love it. Okay, moving on to the software. I think the software is incredible. Everything works so well. It moves quickly, it moves effectively. I've never had glitching problems. I've never had issues loading things. I've never had issues with a program not syncing well. I feel like everything in terms of the software has worked really effectively and quickly. I believe there is a better processor on this watch, so that accounts for that. And I've had such a great experience with those types of things. It makes the watch just a bit more easier to use and less of a headache to use, which is all about convenience. And I feel like if you want a watch that's a smartwatch, you're looking for convenience. So that's very important, and A plus on that with this watch. Now that also includes the health tracking, because that's all inclusive in the processing and the apps and the programs that are on this watch. So the health tracking is really, really good. And I will say, I know Fitbit isn't directly associated with this watch, but Fitbit and Google Watch and Google Fitness have all kind of like meshed and intermingled over the past year because of like a whole transition within those programs and stuff. So I will just say that there is so much information in the Fitbit app, all coming from the watch, that is super interesting. I feel like, in my opinion, and I've seen a lot of videos on the Oura Ring recently, I feel like a lot of the health tracking and the health information that you get from the Fitbit that gets the information and the data from the watch is similar to what you would get with an Oura Ring. And I know Oura Rings can be as much as $600. This watch and Fitbit is definitely not that expensive. So I would say that's incredible. It's definitely in the competitive world when it comes to health tracking, especially because Oura is super, super popular right now. So I will say A plus once again on the health tracking here. I think it has been incredible. I've had so many Fitbit watches in the past and just recently got over into the Google Pixel watches, and this has been the best experience when it comes to health tracking, health apps and programs that are within the watch itself, and the accuracy of all of the health data that you would be interested in, especially if you're someone that's curious about the Oura Ring. Long story short, very accurate and very interesting, insightful, and detailed health tracking going on this watch in association with Fitbit, which is its main program that it uses to kind of facilitate all of that information to you. Okay, and then the last big pro that I love about this watch is the tools that you can access from the watch. Again, another software thing, and I did touch on that when it comes to the health tracking and stuff like that, and processing and all of those good things. But particularly, there are three things that I really, really use often on this watch. The first is the weather. So I don't know if you can see on the face of my watch, but the weather is right in the center. I usually just tap on that, and my weather very, very quickly syncs and gives me accurate information. So it'll tell me the high, the low, the UV, all of this stuff was on the Google Pixel 1 watch. I've learned after talking about it in a previous video. A lot of y'all went into the comments and let me know, but I love this feature so much. I think it's super useful to have, particularly on a watch when you don't want to pull out your phone, say it's raining, or you just want to be really quick with it, or like you're waking up and the first thing in the morning you want to check the weather. You don't have to pull your phone out or go grab your phone. Your watch is on your wrist, if that makes sense. So I use the weather very, very often. I also like that it tells you the sunset and the sunrise on the app as well. Another program that I really love on the watch is the texting. And now I don't use it often. I don't text from my watch often, but if I have to, if I am in a rush or if I'm trying to answer somebody really quickly and I don't really have access to my phone at the moment, say I'm in a meeting or something like that, I can access it from here. It syncs up really well. Sometimes I've had in the past where I won't even be able to access my messages because I haven't opened my phone for a while, and I have to open my phone and let it sync, and then I can send a message, which defeats the purpose, by the way. But I haven't had that issue with this watch, and the screen texting keyboard is super, super accurate. You would think that it's not because it's such a tiny face, but I have had nails, I have had my stubby fingers typing all over this thing, and it has not given me issues. I've been able to type accurately, no typos, no grammatical errors. Even speaking into it is also really great as well, but overall, the experience is super, super convenient. And once again, that is something that is very important when it comes to a smartwatch. You want convenience when it comes to a smartwatch. And that's super convenient to not have trouble texting from it, especially if texting from it is a feature of it. Okay, and then the last and the very, very best program that I love on this watch, I have to give big thanks to someone who commented on a video many months ago for this, by the way, because I did not realize that you can do this. But from the programs, from the list of programs that are on the watch, there is a camera button. Now, I'm not going to click on it because it's going to mess up this video. I am recording on my Google Pixel 8 Pro, by the way. But if I click on that program from here, I can see a preview of what you are actually seeing while I'm recording. So it's basically like a viewfinder for a camera, for my Google Pixel 8 Pro camera on the watch. So whenever I do videos using my phone, and I use my phone for videos now, my YouTube videos now about 90% of the time, I use the watch to make sure that everything is in focus, everything is set in the frame, everything looks good. I can record, I can stop from here, I can take pictures from here. Instead of using a timer and running for my life to get the shot, I can just use my watch, and that has been the most convenient thing about this. As a content creator, as a marketer, as someone who works in social media, that has been what I use this watch for. Not gonna lie, 99% of the time. That is my most used program, that is my most use of this watch, and it's truly a lifesaver because I didn't need to get any doohickey gadgets to attach to my phone, to attach to my tripod in order to do the things that is already embedded into this watch. Again, super, super convenient, and that makes a huge difference when you're talking about a device that is meant to bring convenience into your life. Okay, so those are my big pros, but moving on to the cons, and I do have a couple of cons. The first is the price. This watch is not cheap. It is several hundreds of dollars. I think it's $350. It's expensive, and I don't really love that watches are so expensive. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I don't really love that watches can be that expensive, and I know this is the second of the kind and it's a really great device, but $350 is pretty steep. So I don't know, I just don't love that price for this device. Maybe that's just me, maybe I just don't get it. Okay, another con, the battery life. Now, I will say the battery on this watch is significantly better than the Google Pixel Watch 1. The Google Pixel Watch 1, the battery was so bad that if I did not charge it at least twice a day, it was going to die, guaranteed. It was absolutely horrendous. And that experience with the Google Pixel Watch 1 was me turning off all of the features on the watch pretty much and not using it for majority of what I talked about in this video, pretty much. With this watch, I use it a lot more, and I don't need to charge it twice a day, but I do need to charge it at least once a day. Now, there are smartwatches out there where you don't need to charge it every single day. There are some watches that are out there that can take a couple of days. I do know from my husband's experience, Ian, he had a smartwatch and he wouldn't have to charge it for several days. So, and that was a Fitbit watch as well. And it wasn't one of those little simplified Fitbit watches. It was one that was like comparable to these kinds of watches. So I know there are better batteries out there. And this one is better than the first of its kind, but it's still not great. And for its price, I feel like the battery should be better than what it is. It's just not great. And speaking of the charging battery experience, the last con that I have is that the charger is also not great. It's definitely better than the first Google Pixel watch, but this watch charger snaps in place, kind of like magnetic, and this one has a little bit of a groove, so it snaps a little bit better in place than the first Google Pixel watch, but it is still majority magnet, and it does fall off. I've had times where I'll plug it in and perhaps my cats are walking past it, or I don't know what happens, but I'll come back to it and it was not lashed in place, and so it didn't charge, and that's obviously a big deal given that the battery is really bad. So I think the charger can do better, for sure. Significantly better. There's got to be a better way to keep it snug in place. I know it's really sleek and I know the design of it is really cool, but it's just not practical. And for something that needs to be charged super often, at least make the charger practical, you know? Okay, so those are my pros and cons for the Google Pixel Watch 2. I'll give you one more look of it. By the way, I wouldn't say that this is a con, but I did get like the very light colored band, and as you can see, it's not like super clean, and it's kind of hard to clean it, to be honest with you. I have tried cleaning it, but it doesn't get back to its original state. But that I won't ding as a con because it's just something to be expected with a color like this. But before I get into my is it worth it outro, I just wanted to quickly show you those two accessories that I was talking about. I don't know if I can pop this off again. Okay, I got it off. So the first accessory is basically just a screen protector, if you will, for the face of the watch. I actually needed something like this because I did scuff the watch just a little bit on the edge. I don't know if you can see that. I have a tendency to walk into walls. Did not know that until I started paying attention to the way that I damage my watch. So I guess I do that. But this has been a huge help with making sure that I don't scuff it anymore. And it was pretty cheap. I got it off of Amazon. I can link it down below. And it's clear, so you can hardly see that it's there. And it does not affect the touchscreen at all. It does not affect the bezel at all. Everything works perfectly fine. It also does not affect the sides when you're trying to take off the bands. So a really good product. And then the last accessory that I have is this wrist band. It is stretchy. It's essentially like an athletic one. And by the way, you can adjust it to make it shorter and smaller. The reason why I got this is because I like to wear my watch on my ankle, because when I'm on my walking pad and I'm working, my steps do not count because my hand is kind of static while I'm walking on my walking pad. So what I do when I'm working and I'm on my walking pad is I use this, I put it all the way to the largest size, and then I wrap it around my ankle and I'm able to get my steps in there. And then on the weekend, when I'm not using my walking pad, I use the standard wristband. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Okay, but those are the only accessories that I have, and that's pretty much it for this video. So all in all, do I think that this watch is worth it? I will say this has been the best smartwatch that I've used in a really, really long time. Before this, I had the Google Pixel Watch 1, and before that, I've had numerous Fitbit watches. I've never had an Apple Watch. I don't have an iPhone, so I never felt the need to get an Apple Watch, so I don't know the experience of that watch. But I've had so many different generations and styles of the Fitbit watches, and this has been the best one. This has given me little to no issues at all. To be honest with you, I somewhat forget about this watch, and that's a good thing, because usually my experience with smartwatches is that there'll be 1 to 3 things that just irk me about it because it doesn't make things convenient. And I feel like watches like this are meant to make your life a little bit more convenient. And so because I forget about this all the time, I use it all the time, but I'm saying I forget about it in the sense that I don't really think about things that irk me because nothing really irks me about this watch. So extremely, extremely positive experience despite the cons, the very small amount of cons that I have. I guess the one thing that I think about is the battery, but I've come into like a lifestyle habit, the lifestyle practice of charging it that I don't really notice it anymore, although it would be nice for it to not have a really crappy battery. But anyway, all in all, I do not really have a bad experience with this watch at all. Now, is it worth $350? I don't know. I don't know if watches should be $350. So I can't say that I confidently feel like I should tell you to get a $350 watch. But I will say I got mine for free, and Google does a lot of great deals throughout the year. So chances are you'll get this watch on a sale during like a package deal if you're trying to get the phone as well or another Google device. Look out for those, and if you are able to snag this on a deal, on a discount, on a package, a special package price, then I 100% think that it is worth it. You let me know in the comments though. I'm not sure if I'm the only one that thinks that a $350 watch is kind of ridiculous, but I would love to hear your thoughts about that. And I will also love to hear your thoughts about the watch if you have the watch. Let me know what your experience is so far. If you're considering getting this watch after watching this video, let me know as well. I am super curious, but thank you so much for checking out this video. I appreciate you. And yes, I will be doing a Google Pixel 8 Pro video, pros and cons review next week. So stay tuned. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you in next week's video.